What's up, guys? Mrs. B's Vaping Sweets here, and today we're going to talk about another GI Juice liquid called Toucan Express. I'm running a 6 milligram nicotine, and I have to say it's pretty good so far. It tastes a lot like Fruity Pebbles, but without the milk. So, with that said, we're going to start at 20. I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to start at 20 watts. Let's get it. Does not have much of a fruity taste at first, but I think I might just clear my palate. Shout outs to anybody who already had their drink ready. This is a very fruity mid-ground, but it's very limey. Still no milky taste, but it definitely tastes like cereal, and the bite is at about a 1. Let's go up to 25. It tastes just like Fruity Pebbles, but the milk aftertaste is not present. I am not getting a sweet follow through. It's more like a bite straight at the end, like a cigarette would. And I am not a fan of it. You can definitely taste the cereal in the vape. Like, it is definitely a cereal dominant vape, but very fruity, but not quite like Fruit Loops, more like Fruity Pebbles. That one's definitely a little clearer. So let's go ahead and go up to 30 and see what that does. That's a very fruity vape, but the bite is still very predominant, and it kind of went up to a 2 on that vape, and I'm really not feeling that. But if you're a person that likes the bite like a cigarette, this might be a vape for you. Still very cereal dominant, but the bite is pretty tremendous in this one. Getting me right in my throat to where it really burns. There really is no soothe to this bite. It's very powerful to me, and I am not a fan of this. I love the fruity flavor, but if they could make it smooth and not have that bite, it would be perfect. Still very cereal dominant. So let's go to 35. That was a very dense vape. I felt that real deep in my chest. That was very smooth on the inhale, but upon the exhale, that bite really gets you. I'm sorry, I had to wait very late to do this video for my daughter to go to bed because she was having a hard time with me trying to talk to the camera, and she kept thinking I was talking to her, so I was distracting her from playing with her toy, and she had no idea what I was doing. So it made it very frustrating to her. The fruit was very intense upon that vape, and the bite kind of went down to a 1 on that one. That was a little bit better. It's very fruity. It's a very, very fruity vape, and I really enjoy that, actually. It's very dominant in the Fruity Pebble flavoring. So let's go ahead and go up to 40. I know I seem like I'm rushing through this, but I'm trying to watch the football game and do this review at the same time. It's very thick. It's very fruity. It's very dense to me. Like, it seems like I'm really vaping a fog. Like, it's very dense and moisture. That actually gets a lot smoother to where the bite is almost non-existent. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to 45 and see if that makes a difference. Wow, I must say that is a very fruity vape, and that was a very thick cloud. Wow. It literally tastes identical to Fruit Loops, but it tricks you upon the exhale and gives you the, wait a minute, this is Fruity Pebbles, not Fruit Loops, because it's very limey. Goodness gracious me, I am sorry about that. But that was a dense fog, and it got me up on the exhale. That is delicious, I must say. Alright, we're going to max it out at 50 watts and see what she does. That was very, very clear. Like, there is no doubt in your mind as soon as you take that vape that it is not a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. It is heaven. I'm just saying, like, if the bite was not there and it definitely had a complete milk smooth vape, it would taste identical to eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles with milk. But since it does not have that milky taste, it tastes like you're eating dry Fruity Pebbles out of the bag, and then you get that burn in your throat and eating a drink. That's exactly what it tastes like. That is very, very smooth. I'm actually going to close my airway all the way up and see if that changes. That was a very thick vape. That was delicious. So let's go ahead and get this rated, and I'm going to back my battery back down to my normal, which I vape at a 22.4. A lot of people are different, and I use my airways all the way open. It is all in personal preference. If you prefer the full-bodied cigarettes and like a cigar, dense chest hit, sorry, like I just had, close your airway all the way up. If you have a dual airflow tank, keep the airflow open all the way at the bottom and closed at the top. For a warmer vape, close this up. But I like to keep mine open because it keeps the battery level from draining quickly and keeps this from getting too hot. That was a very dense vape. Still, I have a very dry throat. My cup actually ran out of drink, which goes against what I usually say, and make sure you have a drink ready when you start doing the review or vaping. With that said, let's rate this and get it on the ball so you guys can have a good night. The design, as I rated before, I really like it, but it could use a flavor description to tell you exactly what you're vaping on. So I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. The flavor profile itself, I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 9 out of 10 because the only thing it could use is a cream aftertaste and not have that bitter harsh bite at the end. Child safety is very good on this bottle, so I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 because it's very difficult for me to get into. So that's the perfect bottle. The warning label, I love that. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10 because it has the allergen warning in that. If you can see that, it says it contains peanut extract. That is really nice to do because there's a lot of people who have allergies to very specific things, and that could cause an issue if you are vaping on something that is similar to what you're allergic to if it has been naturally extracted. If it has been artificially flavored, you might not have an issue, but that is something I would take up with the person at the vape shop itself. Also, keep in mind that there are people who have a sensitivity to PG. That is definitely something to keep in mind. If you're having troubles vaping, maybe try switching to a higher VG, if only 100% VG. Another thing I would like to bring up, if you're watching this in Ohio, we are going to have a tax increase if a bill passes. I have that posted up on my Facebook page. If you read that, you will see that the tax is going to increase a very large amount, as well as cigarettes will be taxed higher as well. And soon we will be paying New York prices, which is quadruple what we are paying now for a pack of cigarettes or for a bottle of e-liquid. So definitely keep that in mind and vote no against that bill if you are for vaping at a cheap price. Well, with that said, I love that juice. It's going to go into my first row of favorites. Let's have a final vape and you guys can go on. Have a good night, everybody.